Welcome to Point and Drink Adventure, a podcast where the lovely Pam and myself, Michelle, talk about things, talk about drinks and media and video games and vinyl and all the things. Pam, how are you?
Yes, I'm okay. My voice might sound a little rough. I woke up feeling not the best this morning, but I'm excited to be recording now. I'm like, have a secondary boost of energy.
Yay! Secondary boost of energy. Just because Pam's feeling a little bit under the weather, we won't let her get sloshed like I'm going to get sloshed. Because I was like, I'm ready to go. I got myself a double of the drink that we're going to be drinking tonight. Look at this monstrosity. But also look how beautiful my glass is. Oh.
Just a wee one. I know your glass is so much nicer than mine. Mine's just like a tumbler for water.
This glass is the glass. It's not the glass, but it was one of the glasses like them made of. Anyhow, that was in Blade Runner as well as in Star Trek DS9. So
I didn't know about that part.
I didn't either until I watched DS9. And it's in Pale Moonlight, the episode, which is a great episode, like one of the best episodes of the series. And it's this glass, and I'm very excited to have it now that it's in two of my favorite things. So lucky me.
Do you think it was inspired by Blade Runner?
Oh, God, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, like, because it was in Blade Runner, it's probably because it was in the show, because it was made afterwards. And as well, they could still continue to make these glasses. They're made in Italy. And so you can still buy them today. They're stupid expensive. Don't be dumb like me. Like, stupid expensive. But they're beautiful and heavy and so happy. But oh my God, what are we drinking?
Are we drinking?
What are we drinking? I decided we're old-fashioned girls, and we're drinking old-fashioned because I couldn't think of anything else to have. I just got a bunch of Buffalo Trace bourbon. I was like, I want to drink it. Do you like old-fashions, Pam? Is it your thing?
They're all right. I mean, I do like whiskey or bourbon. I generally like my cocktails with something other than booze in them in addition to a bunch of booze. So they're like a little on the strong side for me, but they're good to sip on once in a while.
Mm-hmm. It's like that old, like fashioned myth or something that old grandmothers, like if you're having a little under the weather, you have a little sip of whiskey or a sip of sherry, right? So this is good for your throat.
Have a little nip, exactly. Definitely would help out.
Sure. We'll just keep telling ourselves that. But yeah. The rest so old-fashioned classic cocktail, one of the root cocktails. So many cocktails are based off of a variation of an old-fashioned. And so and if you talk to like 20 different bartenders, you're going to get 20 different variations of an old-fashioned. What is in our old-fashioned? Old-fashioned, we have 2 ounces of bourbon, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, just because simple syrup, I feel like integrates more into the actual cocktail rather than the sugar cubes. The sugar cubes, it just kind of dissolves with the bourbon, and I don't like chunky bits of sugar. I'd rather have
I don't like the idea of just putting the sugar cubes in either. It seems like because you're mixing it cold and there's ice and it's like
yeah. And it's just all stuck at the bottom. I'm like, I want that sugar because there has to be something to temper the alcohol, since this is a pure alcohol drink. Like you're not adding, besides the water from the ice that you stir it with, not adding any really additional liquid, because I don't count bitters. Because then you add 3 to 4 shakes of Angostura bitters and you call it a day and make it fancy with some peel for funsies.
Yeah. What are bitters? Like, I don't know for the longest time, I didn't even realize that they were also alcohol, like a higher alcohol than the actual bourbon. Like, what are bitters? What are they supposed to taste like?
Well, you can make almost bitters out of everything. Like, it must have been like 10, 12 years ago. I went through a phase where I made my own bitters. You just get stupid high proof vodka, like one of those like 150 proof or, something in between. Steep it in a shit ton of random ass herbs that have a lot of like bitterness to them, quinine, stuff you'd put in tea. So I made just a bunch of different kinds, or you can make like grapefruit ones if you want. I made a pomelo bitters once. and just let it steep and let it hang out for a couple days. That's all it is. It's literally alcohol with bitter herbs that are bitter, and just let it sit there. That's it.
Okay. Interesting. All
Yeah.
right.
So you're literally adding more booze to this. So tons of fun, which is funny because it is booze, but you can buy it everywhere. Unless you would just be chugging little bottles of
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Gross.
I mean, they come in little 100 milliliter bottles, so they're pretty small.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Although in America, you get lots of baby bottles of booze, like when we were at the alcohol store.
Yeah, there were so many. So many.
It's so cute. We bought a bunch of baby bottles of booze whenever Pam was here for MagFest. It was a ton of fun. Just like, oh, let's get this one. Let's get this one. Like, it's just like a little sample size. It's fun. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our cocktail. Easy peasy, something classic, because it's fitting. Pam's feeling a little under weather, so just a little bit to ease the throat. But I made a double, so let's get sloshed.
Let's get started. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I like it with a little bit of extra sweetness. The only citrus I had was a grapefruit, so I've got a grapefruit peel in here. But yeah, it's nice, kind of a little bit sinus clearing and a little soothing on the throat.
Yeah, I think I put maybe a little bit too much of simple syrup because I mixed mine. I was like, a little more is fine. I'm making a double. And I was like, it feels a little too sweet, but it's good. You really should have quality bourbon, obviously, because it's the only alcohol substance in it. So, yeah, have some quality bourbon with this, and you are good. Make it yourself at home. It's easy.
Nice. What bourbon did you use?
Buffalo Trace. Yay! I found some bottles here in Pennsylvania, and I was like, I'm so excited, even though you made the wonderful suggestion that why don't you just buy them here when you're here? I'm like, fuck, that's right. I could just check my bag. Like,
Always find it here. Yeah.
So next time, I'm gonna stock up some Canadian liquor. But we have a lot. I mean, it's been a couple weeks since our last episode. There's a lot. I mean, of course, Pam just kicks my ass in games. We're pretty equal, I feel like, in movies. So a lot of the stuff I've watched, we didn't watch only one thing together, but there's a lot. So you go first, Pam.
Right. So the first thing I watch is a movie called Past Lives. I think this came out last year. I think it got some Oscar nominations. It was sort of considered one of the best movies. Oh, yeah. One of the best movies of the year. It's sort of like a romantic drama, kind of like about wondering different ways your life could have gone. It starts off with our main character, and she and her friend, they're in South Korea, and they grow up together, and they both have a crush on each other, but then her family moves to Canada to pursue things there. So they're sort of split apart. And then she ends up going to the States. She meets someone who she ends up marrying. And then she gets back in touch with this guy from when she was a kid. And they sort of have a what could things have been like kind of experience over the course of a weekend when he comes to New York to visit them. And it's really nice. It stars Greta Lee, who I really like. She was in Russian Doll and Morning Show. I saw her in both those, and I really liked her in both of those. And yeah, it was nice. It was sort of just a kind of meandering, moody kind of movie.
Yeah.
You watched this one too, right?
Yes. Yeah, I watched this one because I saw it on your list, and I was like, oh, it's Oscar nominated. Cool. I'm going to watch it, and it's Asian influence. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah. I really liked how I thought it was very well paced. It felt like the two main characters, the two I forget her name, like Nora, I think is her name.
Oh yeah, Nora was her like American.
Yeah, her American name.
Yeah.
And the Korean guy, I don't remember his name at all. But their two chemistry, I felt like was very, very well done, and how they reconnected and such. And it felt very intentional, very slow, very, very, very slow movie. Not really much goes on, but I thought it was nice. It was a good movie. It was very thoughtful. Good.
It was nice. I liked it. The husband sure was cool with stuff.
You want to see this guy who you dated, who was your first boyfriend, and then you like sort of like you were ready to like move out to Korea for in your 20s, and now he's coming to the States, and you go right ahead, girl. And he's like, oh my God. And then they're sitting there at dinner or at the bar, and he's just sitting there.
And he knows a little Korean, but like not enough to follow their conversation.
No, not at all. And the Korean guy doesn't know like a little bit of English, like very broken English. But so he's just sitting there at the bar while they are having the conversation. He just like looks there. He's just like, I'm sad. Like, it's like, wow, my dude, like try to engage here or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a very thoughtful movie. Like a lot of this director's, I guess, is her first movie, I think, or at least her first big movie. And so many things are really like interesting, like the way the characters walked together. Like when she was walking with the Korean guy, they walked like right to left, like going back in time. But when she's walking back with her husband, she's going left to right. So she's going into the future. Yeah. That kind of thing. Like, oh, cool. Like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was really good. I liked it.
Really good movie. Liked it a lot.
What else? What have you watched or done?
I guess I'll go with what I've done. I forget when it was. Was it this week? I think it was this week. I was on the Skippables Podcast, which actually doesn't get released for another couple weeks. So I will post it on my social or repost on my social media whenever that gets posted. But a couple of Southern California dudes who like to talk about music. And I was actually suggested this podcast to be on it from our buddy Trav. Because
I remember Trav's episode.
Yeah, he talked about AC/DC. So pretty much the podcast, three very hip Southern California dudes talk about artists, and they go through the discography and talk about like what songs are skippable, and they have awards for them, and what songs are like your favorites. So pretty much you're just talking about the artists or the discography, whether it's the entire compilation or just like maybe like the first 5 albums or something. So we talked about, I gave the suggestion of The Police because
nice.
I love The Police. Police is one of the very few bands I actually have all of their albums on vinyl, or at least all their major albums on vinyl. And Sting can be a character to be fun to talk about because he's nuts. So so yeah, that'll be out in a couple weeks. Get to hear about which of my favorite songs of The Police are and which ones I don't like. And it was really interesting to listen through, because to prep for the podcast, I listened through all of the discography in a day, and you can find a lot of interesting similarities to things in songs, a lot of repeats of like methods of like lyrics and such. So it was a really interesting experience. I liked it. To do that with other bands.
Yeah, that is a good. There's very few artists where I could say like I really know their discography well. Like so many of the artists I like, it's like songs here and there, albums here and there. Like I don't even know who I'd pick for that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was kind of tough because the other like 2 I suggested was Prince because Prince, and then Bjork because I've been really in a Bjork kick lately, and that would have been not maybe her whole discography because that would have been huge, but like at least her first like 5 solo albums or something like that, up to like Homogenic or something, up to 97 or something like that. Just because I think that those would be interesting, but I've never listened to all of it before. So I think there would be you get a lot of stinkers. You realize there's a lot of like how the album flows and such. There's just a lot of weird songs and you're like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah. I noticed that when I was young and when I first got to that point where I would like buy a CD and I would be so excited because like there was a few songs on the radio, and then I'd buy the CD and be like, oh, I don't like most of this.
Like I like the 2 songs I heard. This sucks. Why did I spend my money on this? I could have just got the 2 songs.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Lots of that. It's hard to find good, especially now there's not many album artist or bands, you know, like Pink Floyd made albums that you're intentionally supposed to listen to the whole thing. Like, there's not many of that anymore. It's all about the song. What's going to make me that money? But yeah, listen to the pod when it comes out in a couple weeks. I'll post it on the socials. I can't post it now because it's not out yet.
It's not it? Awesome.
What else have you been watching?
So I watched a couple horror movies. The first one is called Dog Soldiers. And this is directed by, I think, Neil Marshall is his name. He directed The Descent, which is one of my favorite horror movies about the group of women spelunkers. So Dog Soldiers takes place in the Scottish Highlands, and a group of military men are on a training exercise. And then they find out there's something in the woods, and it's werewolves. So it's like a cool werewolf movie. It has Kevin McKidd as the lead, who I really like. He's been in a few movies that I've seen. Also, he's been in like 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, which I just rewatched all of. So
I'm surprised you didn't put that on the list.
I could put that on the list. But yeah, he always plays the same thing. Like in Grey's Anatomy, he was also like a soldier, but like a surgeon. So yeah, I guess he plays those kind of roles a lot. But yeah, it was a really good movie. Like I really liked all of the interactions between the cast. The werewolves, like the practical effects of the werewolves looked really cool. There were no transformation effects. They like, I think they didn't have huge budget. So it's like, oh no, it's transforming. And then it goes like under a table and then comes back up and it's a werewolf. So kind of missing a little bit on that sense, but I really liked all of the characters, and they all behaved fairly like reasonably and smartly. It wasn't one of those movies where people are just doing dumb shit and getting picked off. They're, you know, they're mostly being a cohesive unit, and so that was fun.
Cool. I've never heard of this movie. I think, was it Split Up talked about this recently, didn't they?
Yes, I was going to bring that up because my next movie is also, so they're joining Travis in his 2002 journey. So they both. So yeah, Dog Soldiers was Dylan's movie, and then May is Mook's movie. So if you want to know more than I am saying about these, go check out the Split Up podcast for much greater detail and analysis of these movies. I'm just giving you.
Well, you can talk about May. Talk about May since this is our transition to it. Like, that's cool.
Sure. So the other one was May, and it's one of those movies about a like lonely, socially awkward girl who ends up doing some bad, weird shit. So her whole thing is she grew up and she had a lazy eye, and so kids judged her and they didn't want to be friends with her, and her mother was very like perfect and wanted her to be perfect pretty girl, and she's like, oh well, if you can't find friends, you should make your own. So she gives her this doll that's going to be her friend, but she won't let her open it, she won't let her take it out of the case, but she's like, well, make your own friend. And so she sort of gives her that on her way. And
pause. Hold, please.
Yeah, so then she grows up and she becomes kind of weirdly obsessed with men. One of them is Jeremy Sisto, and she's like obsessed with his hands. He's a mechanic, and she's like, oh, he has such nice hands. And so she kind of starts basically stalking him until he notices her, and they kind of date. He's like, I'm so fucking weird and I like dark shit. And then she's like, oh yeah? And like to the point where he's like, okay, maybe you're a little too much for me. But it's just interesting about this young lady who is very socially awkward and had a hard time growing up, and how she's trying desperately to connect to people and like make a person who will be her perfect person, and just how it goes bad until she eventually kind of snaps.
She snaps. Okay, I'm like, so she's gonna murder people, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it is a horror movie. So
Okay.
so I really liked it as well. It had good performances. I don't remember the lead's name. She's been in a few other things, but Anna Faris was in it, and she's hilarious. She's just like ditzy, horny girl. Like, she loves May. She's like wants to like fuck May.
I love that. Fun.
That was a fun one too. But yeah, if you want to hear more about those, check out the Split Up podcast.
Yes. They're going through, or at least because they're going with Trav, like the Polymedia Group, going through 2002 right now. Every February, the Polymedia Group, we go through everything, all the media, all the songs, all the movies you consume. Not us. We don't participate.
No.
Go through a specific year. We did like 97. I remember 97 we did once. But this year is 2002, hence the 2002 movies. So that's why.
Yeah.
Context.
Exactly. But yeah, what else? What have you watched?
What have I watched? Okay. My Star Trek journey continues. I have finally finished another series. I have finished Star Trek Voyager with the incomparable Captain Janeway. And really, it's all about Janeway. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised how much I like this show. It is not my favorite. I think my favorite is still DS9 and then TNG. And then this one is a third. It stars Captain Janeway. They get lost. They get transported. They're often like on their first mission on their ship, the Voyager. And they get transported like 60,000 light years away. So they're trying to make it their way back, which for them would take like 30 years or something ridiculous like that. So the show is about them coming back. So you're pretty much on this ship and a couple random planets and other encounters of aliens on their adventures on their way back. And it's I really enjoyed it. Janeway is amazing. Tuvok is great. 7 of 9 is amazing. I love the interactions between 7 of 9 and Captain Janeway, as well as other members of the crew, as well as the Doctor. I have a lot of complaints about Chakotay, which is boring. He's so boring as fuck. And at the ending of the show made me Chakotay. Yeah, Chakotay is the first officer.
So he's like Riker.
He's like Riker. He's like Riker, but he's stupid, boring, and he doesn't even try, like the actor doesn't even try to act, especially towards the end. He just sucks. He really sucks, and the ending with him, it made me want to throw my phone. And yeah, and then we got the two horny boys, Harry and Tom Paris, which they're just until they are like Tom gets like in a relationship, so they're not super horny, but Harry's always horny, but they're just fine. So, like, overall, it's about the characters, and the characters are a little bit inconsistent. The Doctor is fucking amazing. Any episode about the Doctor is great. So, it was good. It's not my favorite. The ending made me want to throw my phone. And now I'm on to Enterprise, so here we go.
Is Voyager the one with the weird theme song?
No.
Or is that Enterprise?
That's Enterprise.
Okay.
Weird is a nice way to put it.
I think Dylan must have been talking to you because he was just like, I'm going to play you a song. Guess what it's the theme song to? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
Yeah, he was talking to me because I was like, Dylan, everyone in Enterprise is stupid hot. And he's like, oh my God. Yes, that is true. And yes, they are super horny. So there's a lot more horniness in Enterprise, which is like 2 thumbs up for me. But this theme song is just a struggle. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's weird. Why does it have lyrics? I don't know.
Apparently, it's really popular to do karaoke at like cons, Trek cons.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So maybe I'll do it for karaoke for our next karaoke night. We'll see.
All right.
Would you like me to go next since you went twice? And give you voice a little more?
Sure, yeah. Sure.
So the other show I watched is Hazbin Hotel, which is an animated show that started off on YouTube. Like the creator created the pilot episode and showed it on YouTube, and then it was picked up by A24 and it was released on Amazon Prime. And so the animation style is kind of like Invader Zim, if you've ever seen that, and Beetlejuice, that kind of very thick lines and very colorful. And so Hazbin Hotel is about the daughter of Lucifer and Lilith in hell is Charlie. Okay. And Charlie, every year, in order for like heaven to like make sure hell has like doesn't like rise up and take over heaven, they go down and just kill demons. So demons are people like we would be demons. Like if when we die, we go to hell, we're a demon. You're not a demon if you're born in hell. So Charlie is born in hell, so she can't be killed by the people in heaven during the execution day. And so it's about, she wants to try to get people into the hotel in order to like fix them, so make it so they can go into heaven, like depend for their sins, you know, like do things that make you accepted into heaven as her way to like help her people, because she just hates seeing all of her people get murdered, so many of them every single year. And so she starts up at this hotel, and she's got her ragtag group of buddies, as well as like this big scary dude. Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? I've already like had half my drink, I guess. But but it's a really well done show. It's musical. So there's at least 2 musical numbers in each episode. Yes. And the songs are bangers, except for like one. Nice. They're great. They're like 20-minute episodes. So I blew through that in like a day because there was like 10 episodes or something ridiculous like that. And they were really fun. Really great voice acting, really interesting story. I really liked the colorfulness of the world, but still being in hell. And the songs and the musical numbers and just the characters themselves. They have so much lore and so much little details you can definitely notice that people really obsess about. That, you know, like, do you realize they got the X here? Because like they don't explain why. Like if I have an X over my eye, that's where I was shot. So that's where I was killed. So then one guy has an X here, and you're like, oh, he was shot there, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's very interesting. Very interesting little show. I guess they're going to do it a second season. But I liked it. It was fun for a cartoon musical. Who doesn't love a musical?
Yeah, that's cool. I've never heard of that before.
It's on Amazon Prime in the States. But the first episode is on YouTube. So you have to watch the first episode on YouTube and then go to the show.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting.
What else have you been watching?
So another movie that I watched is called You Hurt My Feelings. And this is another, I think it's pretty new. It was on Amazon when I watched it. It's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Tobias Menzies. I love that name, Menzies. And they're a couple who have been married for a while. He's a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, one of those, and she's an author. And at first it's just sort of going through their life. She's got a sister who's somewhat neurotic. Well, actually everyone's kind of neurotic in this. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus has recently just put out, or is about to publish, her next book. And while out, she comes across her husband and her sister's husband who are out shopping, and she overhears him giving his honest opinion on her latest book, which is not a positive one. And it's just sort of about, for a while, it's just kind of like about the lengths people will go to not just tell each other things. Yeah. And not just like say what they mean.
Yes.
Yeah, to avoid. So it was very funny, like awkward at times, but kind of amusing generally. You saw this one too, right?
Yeah, I did see this one too. I kind of didn't like it.
Oh, no.
No, I kind of thought some of the characters were insufferable, especially the way they like interacted with each other and such. I'm just like, oh my God, like seriously, like that's what we're doing here. Like, you know, it was very much, I don't know, just It was all right. Julia Louis-Dreyfus can be very charming, but I don't know. I didn't like the characters, and it's one of those movies where they're just talking, and either it's a character study in the situation that they're in, like. Should you be honest, or should a white lie really be escalated that much? And it's like, no, like he has good intentions here. Like he's trying his best. He's trying to be supportive, and that's what should matter.
And his opinion wasn't even that bad.
No,
it wasn't like, oh, this new book's terrible. I hate it. It was just kind of like.
He's like, I just didn't really like it. It wasn't as good. I just don't get it. And that's okay if your partner doesn't get the things that you're doing, as long as they're supportive, which obviously is. They like each worship each other. So I'm like, why are you guys so mad?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I liked the scenes of the husband in his therapy appointments of like the various couples that he was treating. And one couple was David Cross and Amber Tamblyn, who are actually married. And just like finally like just horrible couple. And when he's finally like, maybe you should just get divorced, and they're like, what? Like,
how dare you? Are you serious? They were like, what? Yeah. I don't want that. And she's like, well, obviously if nothing's working for you, it's just like, you have to fix us. And then they asked for their money back, which I thought was hilarious.
That was funny.
Really? I think you guys shouldn't be in therapy if you think you can get your money back. But it was, I don't know. I didn't really like it, but it's all right. It's fine. I don't know.
What else did you watch?
We watched together. We had a fun little movie night one night because I was like, hey, Pam, do you want to watch a movie? And so we watched, I was really in the mood for sci-fi, and I'd never seen Dark City before, and you've never seen Dark City before, so we watched Dark City, which is it's like, how would you describe this world? Dark, obviously, because it's Dark City, but like this guy, wow, totally forgot what his name is, but this guy, he wakes up and he's like, a woman is murdered next to him, and he's like, how did I get here? What just happened? And so it's really him figuring out what is going on. What are these things that at midnight at night everybody falls asleep, and these aliens, in air quotes, aliens come around and start like shooting people up and start moving people around and moving the city around and such. And then they say, okay, go. And then they go and they have new experiences, new things that they go through. And so they're like kind of studying the people in order to figure out, okay, if this person does this, what will happen? Like, if we set it up this way. So it's this man in conjunction working with Kiefer Sutherland, who helps the aliens, starts off helping the aliens, and then he's helping out our buddy figure out what it is that they're doing and why they're doing it and how it sort of affects them, because he missed like a shot or something, so then he starts being able to not go to sleep at the designated time, so he's just walking on his own and figuring out all the things. So it was a very interesting movie. So many similarities to The Matrix, even though this is pre-Matrix by like 6 months-ish.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, not much. And you really see the similarities in between it. Very, very cool effects, I think. Like the way they did the buildings and such, the way they like shifted buildings around. And
like every night the whole city changes. Like the buildings come together and they rise and they fall and like everything morphs, and it's really cool.
Yeah, very Inception looking, but done with models and done very well, like without the support of computer graphics. I thought it was really cool. I think its pacing was very all over the place. I felt like it went real fast sometimes, and then just and then we just like kind of go to a dead still. The performances, Kiefer Sutherland did not have to be so extreme. He had this weird accent. But what'd you think of it, Pam? Sorry, I keep blabbing about it.
I really liked the first act. Like, I thought the pacing in the first act was great. How this guy wakes up and he's like wanted for the murder of all these women, but he can't actually remember murdering any women. And then his wife is involved, and it's Jennifer Connelly, and it's just like he's kind of being chased by these weird men, and strange things are happening. And I thought like it had a great hook. And then it kind of like meanders a little in the middle. And then when it got to the explanation, I was like, oh, that's all right, I guess. But I really liked the start of it and the effects and things like that. But I did find it sort of like started off really high and then kind of tapered as it went.
Off. Yeah, I agree. It definitely felt like it tapered off toward the ends because I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland, just keep on with that accent. But it was really interesting, at least, and I felt different, unique kind of movie. So watch it.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
The last thing I watched. Oh, God. All right, here we go, kids. All right. So last night, my sister had asked me if I wanted to go see Advent Children in theaters because they were having a special screening because next week or whenever this podcast gets out, it's already released. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be released. So they re-released Advent Children into theaters for 2 nights. There was one night of the dubbing and then the next night was for subtitles. I went to the night with subtitles with my sister. And I remember seeing this movie like 20 years ago when it first came out, and it was terrible. Like, nobody understands what the fuck's going on in this movie. It's post Final Fantasy VII. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, you won't understand what the fuck is going on or who anybody is at all. And Cloud is having another existential crisis where he's like, I gotta do things on my own, or whatever it is he goes through. And so 3 new bad guys show up as they also have the Genova genes in them. And another reunion is coming. And we want to go get Genova. And we know you're hiding Mother, Genova. So we want Genova so we can resurrect Sephiroth and bring back Mama. And so these 3 dudes, like Laws, Kaja, and Ludicrous. I don't remember the third one's name. It starts with an L. We'll call him Luda. They're just like, trying to find Mom any way they can. So the Turks show up, which is honestly the best part of the movie because the Turks are kind of more. They have a lot
Turks are
more.
my favorite.
They're the best, and they got a lot more screen time than I remember
in the game, and I love them in the movie. They're the thing I remember most about the movie.
They're great. It's mostly Reno and Rude who are showcased. Like, you don't get much of Elena and Zhang, which is kind of disappointing, but it's mostly Reno and Rude who are fun, and they really lighten up the atmosphere because it's very gray and very dark. And so Cloud is just off in his happy little world trying to help because the 3 evil dudes, the Genova kids, there's this weird new disease that kids are getting, that people and kids are getting, that's called the geostigma. And everyone's like, what is this from? And really what I got from, this is my interpretation of the movie, is that the Earth, since the Earth like protected, like, at the end of Final Fantasy VII, shot meteor. And then this is like Earth's paybacks. Like, you got motherfuckers really fucked up. So I'm going to send this bullshit your way and just like let you have a day with it. So all these kids have this like scarring on them and stuff. And they don't really explain this, but all this scarring. And so the 3 evil dudes are like, we're going to come heal you. So they kidnap all the kids, bring them to the forest, and they like cure them, but then, brainwash them. And so why? I don't know. Like, it doesn't help them get Mother. Like, they're just trying to go find Mother, and then they bring the kids back to the city, and they surround, like, whatever. It's stupid. But so this movie is still bad, all right? What makes this second watch so interesting, or not even just interesting, so angry for me, is that I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm definitely going to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I I know you've played some of Remake. You didn't finish it because you didn't like it, right? Did you just not like the gameplay or the story? Like, what made you not like it?
I didn't particularly care for the gameplay. I also felt like there was so much extra stuff in it that wasn't necessary. And so when I did the, Wall Market Honeybee Inn, I was like, that was probably the best part. I'm going to stop now.
What'd you think about the whispers, the ghost things that come in, and we've got alternate timelines and kind of shit like that?
I don't think I ever got to the point where I knew that was what was happening.
Okay.
So I feel like I read that later on, but I didn't get that while I was playing.
Okay. I was not a huge fan of the whispers thing or any of that stuff. And I was talking about this with my sister, and this is me and my sister's speculation, so don't hold this with a fucking grain of salt. Apparently, again, me and my sister, the Advent Children is canon. So Advent Children is the end of end. So everything that we're working towards with Remake and Rebirth, it all leads to Advent Children. So, spoilers for Remake. At the end of Remake, you fight these 3 big whisper things on the broken streets of Midgar. Literally in Advent Children, you fight those 3 dudes on the broken streets of Midgar. So you're fighting those guys in Remake.
Right.
Again, speculation. My sister said, I read somewhere that in the code, it's their names. So it's like super speculations here. So you're like, okay, so those 3 things, which are kind of dead in the movie, like have Genova genes in them and they're kind of super powered. The movie sucks. The pacing's awful. The first hour is nothing but talking. And then once you get to fighting, it don't fucking stop. It's nonstop fucking fighting. They fight fucking Bahamut, or what I thought was Weapon. Apparently it's Bahamut. It doesn't matter. Bahamut, then the 3 dudes, then the 1 dude, then Sephiroth, then it's just nonstop for a fucking hour. It's freaking ridiculous. But so you fight those 3 dudes so that essentially that timeline is like connected to Remake.
Okay.
And then at the end of Advent Children, you Omni/Sephiroth, and he goes, I'm not a memory, and disappears. So the theory is that the Sephiroth that is going back in time to Remake land and fucking all this shit up is Sephiroth from Advent Children. Which I'm like, that's annoying.
You don't need multiple timelines.
I don't know why. Something about multiple timelines I don't like. And I get it in Trek all the fucking time. Like all day, all fucking day with Star Trek-y shit. Oh my God, there was a rip in the space-time continuum kind of bullshit. I don't need that in my fucking Final Fantasy. Like, no. I need you to go save the fucking crystals or go save your friends and friendship is magic and all this bullshit. Not multiple timelines. Like, I get that in Chrono Trigger. I get that in other franchises. And so the whole whispers things, because there's also prominent in Advent Children, they call these shadows and they turn into dogs that people kill, which is also in Remake. I'm like, oh my God, it's all coming together. This bad movie from 2004 is all coming together with this fucking, because they're all the same writers and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to rant about that.
Interesting. I had no idea that bad movie would be like, no, this is the real Final Fantasy. Lily, stop being gross. I'm the only one coughing here. Sorry.
No, Lily can definitely go. I didn't realize either until my sister was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh. No. I'm still going to play them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going to go with it with new eyes. And I'm just going to be like, oh, God, please. Tifa's going to be real hot, though, so it's fine. But yeah, I ranted about that a lot. Sorry.
That's all right.
We got a lot of games to talk about, but I need to do a tiny refill.
Okay.
I know you don't, but break. All right. Well, Pam always kicks my ass with games. Always.
I feel like this is the least amount of games I've played in a while. Especially since one of these I didn't finish. One of them is just an unhinged rant.
Ooh, I love those. I love unhinged rants. Pam, you go first. It doesn't have to be unhinged rant first.
Yeah, I'm gonna save that for last. So one of the games I played is called the Moebius Machine, which is a game that hasn't actually released yet. It comes out, I think, on March 1st, but I got a review code like a while ago, like maybe a month before the game released, which was nice. It's nice to like have a long time to play a game rather than have to like, here you go, 3 days before it releases, good luck. Like, so I've been playing this. It's a Metroidvania. It's very like sci-fi, sort of synthy music, cool. It's just like a beautiful 2D graphics with like, you know, weird, almost the kind of stuff you'd see on like 50s pulp novel covers, like just like weird, like tentacly floating things and strange plant life and things like that. And I really liked it. You play this little astronaut, you get a distress signal from this moon, and you go down, and there's not much story. Like, you get a couple lines of dialogue every few hours. Like, it's not very much story at all, which I like. But you just go and explore. It's got this big continuous world. Like, there's no rooms, no discrete rooms. You just continue on with no loading unless you die or something, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's just sort of ranged combat, lots of exploring, lots of platforming, some interesting abilities that are a little bit different than a lot of other Metroidvanias. Like, a lot of them have to do with your thrusters, so you can sort of thrust on land to make you go forward faster, or you can like thrust up ladders to make you jump higher, or there's like an underwater thrust, which is really, really fun. Overall, I liked it. I'm midway, almost done writing my review. I'll probably have a video out on it maybe before the podcast comes out, maybe not, depending on if I feel like recording and talking.
Pam's faster.
It depends. It depends on if that's going to happen. But yeah, it was just a fun, kind of a little bit more slower paced, kind of deliberate kind of Metroidvania, especially compared to, I mean, the last thing I played was Prince of Persia, which is like so fast. So this was, you know, a little bit more of a chill experience, which was nice.
This wasn't one you played on the Steam demo. No? Okay. You said colorful, like tentacly thing. It made me think of that really colorful one you were playing.
Ultros, yeah.
Ultros. No. Okay. Okay. Not that. Okay. Cool.
Not
just
that one.
Making sure. Yeah. Cool. I'll have to look that one. Moebius Machine.
Moebius Machine. Yeah. Comes
cool.
out on first. Yeah. What did you play?
What did I play? My other co-op group, my Souls co-op group, we've just finished Remnant 2, the complete game as well as the DLC. Remnant 2 is a shooter, kind of, you give classes. I don't know what the story is. I'm perfectly honest with you. Bad plants took over, I think. I wasn't paying attention.
Bad plants took over.
But then there's like outworld stuff. Like there's a really cool stage where you're like, it's like Gigerland. You know, just like Giger art. Yeah, it's like a planet of like Giger art. It's really cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, but no idea. The roots are, again, I didn't pay attention to the story at all. The co-opness of this game is fantastic. I wish this was 4-player co-op. We would play the shit out of this game, Pam. Oh my God. Really fun, different classes, which is interesting because you don't level up to them. You have to go find them. So you come up with your like 4 or 5 base classes, but then as you're exploring the worlds, you can go find the things. And so when you go out into the happy worlds, into the, like, you have your big mana stone thing that you touch and that'll transport you to these different worlds. You enter these worlds and they are, I always forget this term, when they're like generated differently each time, each game.
Procedurally generated?
God, why can't I remember that fucking term? Procedurally generated. Oh my God. I was talking about this with my friend and I couldn't think of it. He's like, procedurally generated, Michelle. I'm like, God damn it. I'm so dumb. Yes. So when you have a different playthrough, each level is procedurally generated. So it's going to be different every time. Like the goals are the same and where things technically are, but the how to get there is going to be very different, which makes it cool for replay value. You know what I mean? And so each world's a little bit different. You can select, different levels of difficulty. I swear to God, we played through this like 3 times because the other 2 picked the easy level and I picked the hard one.
Oh.
Yeah. So we went through mine and got to the final boss and went, whoa, this is way harder. Why is that? But it's really, really fun. The shoot feels really good. It's really fun leveling up your character and using the skills that you get in order to customize your build, very much like the Souls-like games where you're customizing your build to different features and things. The weapons are really fun. They feel really good. I ended up just using this rifle that only shoots 1 shot, like me not using a shotgun. I know, right? Insane. And I used that and an SMG, like the 2 things I never use, I used in this game, and it was a ton of fun. And the monsters are all different in each world. It's very, very, very well done. I wish this was 4-player co-op because I would have loved to play this for our 4-player co-op game because it's really this. Some of the bosses, there's memorable bosses in Souls games. There's this one boss. You get into the boss arena and it's like a puzzle and a boss. Oh my God. When me and Johnny went into this, it was like every time we died, it was like, oh, we're going back in. Oh, this is great. Like every time we learned something new, like how to beat it, it was amazing. Like the best half hour of boss battle I've had in a really long time. It was such fun to be able to die and come back and like just figure it out. Like, because it's a puzzle and you have to shoot things. So it was really cool how they did it. It's not just a puzzle. Like in Dark Souls, I think, or in Demon Souls, you have to like avoid the big bad because he's just grabbing you. But if he looks at you, then you just die. You can't really figure that. It's not like that. It's really like you have to shoot things, but there's also puzzles that are going on around you. It's really cool.
That's cool.
I loved it. So play Remnant 2. It's tons of fun. I wish it was 4-player co-op. Ugh.
So many things are 3 now. So upsetting. Like Dead Island 2 just came out. Like Dead Island 1 was 4-player. Why would you drop it down to 3? I don't understand.
I don't either. Tell me why, developers. Can't you put it 4-player? Make me and Pam happy. That's all you need to do in life is just make us happy.
I know. That's
What else have you been playing, Pam?
So another game that I played, this came out earlier this year. It's called Sovereign Syndicate. And it's sort of like a CRPG. Although I found that the role-playing wasn't that deep. It's kind of like a, not cyberpunk, steampunk, like Victorian era game. And you play as 3 different characters. So the first one you start off as, you're a minotaur. So in this steampunk, there's also like cyclops and minotaurs and werewolves and things like that. And it starts out very similar, like very comparable to Disco Elysium, which is one of my favorite games. But it's like almost like you start out, you don't really remember anything. You've obviously got an alcohol and substance abuse problem. And then as it goes, it sort of moves away from that into its own thing. But you play this minotaur who's kind of being used by someone to do an investigation, and then you play a female like sex worker who gets involved in some weird things, and then you play a dwarf who is like all about machines and mechanical things, and they all end up kind of tied into the same story. And the interesting thing it does is that rather than dice rolls, it uses tarot cards. So when you do a little you pick for each character, like they each have 3 or 4 different sort of attributes, and you kind of pick a path you want to go on, and then depending on your scores, you can like respond in those certain ways. But when you have a dice roll, instead you draw a tarot card, and that tells you whether you succeed or not, which ends up being just kind of an aesthetic thing. Like, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Like, it could have just been dice rolls, but it was interesting. It had a cool story. Some of the little side quests and conversations and mysteries you were solving were interesting. They did have just general problems with it. There was a lot of loading screens. Like, you go from area to area and just loading screens. So you could fast travel between areas, but if you went into a building, you couldn't fast travel from there. So you might be like deep in the building, and then you load into like shallower in the building, and then you load onto the street, and then you fast travel to a thing, and then you load there, and then you walk into the pharmacy, and it was just like too much loading screens. And it was also very, like, the first chapter took me a while. Like, I felt like I got a good handle on things on the first chapter, maybe the first 2 chapters, and then the later ones, like, some of them, I think I was done them in 15 minutes. Like, it was just like, boop, and on to the next character. I was like, oh, okay, well, that was quick.
Well, then you don't even get to feel the character, get the character development in them. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it started getting just, like, very quick after a while. Like, there were some side quests and things that I wasn't fully investigating, but it was very strange. Like, after a long first chapter, then the second chapter was just like, talk to this guy and talk to this guy, go here, oh, over.
Wow. Brutal. So would you recommend this or no?
If you're looking for like a narrative heavy kind of, and you like that sort of steampunk setting, but overall, like, I think there's much better games like that, and much like heavier on the role playing that I enjoy more. So yeah, I thought it was just okay.
It's just okay. Yeah. That's good. Oh, what have I been playing? Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore. This is a new release, just released a couple weeks ago, but this is made in the old school CDI style. So very much the Zelda. I don't remember what those games are called.
I don't remember what those games are called, yeah.
Yeah, the Zelda games that are on the CDI, which I have played both of them before, so I do have context and how these games originally played. And let me tell you, it's fucking awful. Just fucking awful. Just absolutely horrible. Arzette is, I think it was released by Limited Run, is of the same like animation style, so very cute. It really plays up the nostalgia for this. Lots of great voice acting. Had actually a couple friends who are voice acted in it, so it made me wanted to play it more. It was real fun. And so you play Arzette, who's the princess of this kingdom, and she previously had sealed up away the big bad into a book, but then now the big bad is back, of course. You know, he's back. And so you have to go find the 5 different crystals that broke because he came back and go kick his ass again. Pretty much. That's pretty much the story. And you go to different worlds and such in order to find the 5 crystals. 5 or 6. I forget how many it was. It really only took me like 4 hours to beat this.
Oh, wow.
But I'm really, really bad at these type of games. So I put it on the easy mode. Because, yeah.
So I've seen like some of the Zelda ones, but like, what is the actual gameplay like?
Yeah. So I've heard people compare it to a Metroidvania. I'm like, it's not a Metroidvania. Like, it's not at all. There's no map.
But is it just like a 2D like scrolly thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2D scrolling. You explore, like, some is not just like scroll left to right the whole fucking time. Like, there's
or like top down, like is it like top down Zelda? Okay.
Not like top. No? It does not top down. You have like you move this way, but you can move up. Like the levels move up vertically as well.
Okay.
That kind of deal. So, but there's no map, so I don't consider it a Metroidvania if it doesn't have a map. You know what I mean? Like in order to explore that way. So once you complete the level, then you can move on to the next level. So it's kind of like a Donkey. Let's compare it to Donkey Kong. It's like Donkey Kong.
Okay.
In sort of those worlds. But you can move back and forth to all the levels to go find the extra secrets, do all the NPC characters, quests and such, which is what really makes the game that it is. It's charming. The characters are cute. They have fun voice acting. The biggest difference between this and the original Zeldas, there's actual fucking hit detection. And you can actually kill things when you swing at it. It's amazing. There are a lot of power-ups and such that you find, and you can seek out like hearts and such, as well as a weapon upgrade or a shield upgrade, those kind of things. What made me most upset is you can run faster, but it's literally like the last half hour of the game when you find it. I'm like, the fuck? Why didn't I have this the first half hour? Like, I'm running somewhat slow, and then you get used to it. And then I go fast. I'm like, I hate you. I could have had this the whole fucking time if you just made it earlier. No, apparently not. But I mean, people have been really highly reviewing this game. I think it's fine. I don't think it's great. It's the gameplay is nothing that's going to blow your hair back. Again, I'm not good at these games, and the biggest difference between easy and normal mode is easy mode, the enemies can drop hearts, whereas in hard mode, they don't drop hearts. Is really the biggest difference. And I have 3 hearts to start with. I'm not going to get hit fucking 3 times and die I know this is the intention of these original games, but you know what? This is a newer version where they made it into Bappy mode so Michelle can play it and he can drop hearts. So I'm going to do that. I'm sorry. Like, there's 5 monsters on the screen, 2 of them which throw bullshit at you. Fuck off. Like, I need a heart.
Yeah, I always find when I see those games come out that are like, we're releasing this NES game. It's like, no, I don't want to play that. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. It made it so it had more modernization to it, so it was a bit easier. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for CDI just because I didn't have a CDI growing. I mean, I think I did at one point.
Have a CDI?
I know one person who had a CDI. And he's just obsessed with it. So
yeah, he has to make up for all the people who didn't have a CDI.
Exactly. But otherwise, it's fine. There's cute mini games in it. So there's like a Q Hotel Mario mini game in it, and just collect all the coins kind of stuff. But otherwise, it's fine. The biggest gripe I had with it though is the bosses were so unmemorable. Like, really boring boss battles. Again, maybe because I'm in easy mode. But the controls weren't great, especially if you're climbing a ladder. Like, one of the first bosses you fight, you climb a ladder in order to like knock off these big acorns or to just like whack them. You climb up the ladder, your control to like jump to the next ladder is really bad. Like, it's weirdly, like, it's not tactile enough. Even if I'm like moving forward, to crouch, I just push down. But if I'm like moving forward, but it's slightly down as I'm holding the joystick, I'll start crouching. And I'm like, really, asshole? I don't want you to crouch right now. And then you're just randomly crouching. I'm like, that's not what I wanted to do here. Thank you, but no. And then another thing, which they have patched since me playing it, but when they released it, they didn't, is if I hadn't, like, I just find a random item in the world. It's to help out an NPC. I talk to this NPC. You're supposed to have, like, the initial hello dialogue. And then they'll be like, oh, my God, you found the thing. If you have the item and this is the first time talking to them, they'll just go straight to the, oh, my God, you found the thing. So the whole, like, thing about the game, like, best part about the game is the dialogue and interaction with the NPCs. You miss half of it if you just go and wander around and grab shit and go talk to people. And I'm like, that sucks. Now I gotta go on YouTube to figure out what the fuck they said the first time.
Yeah, that's too bad. But I'm glad they fixed it.
They did fix it, so that's good. But meh, who tested this bullshit? Pam didn't test it. That's for goddamn sure. She would have caught that. But it was fine. I don't think it's the greatest game ever, like people are reviewing it as. Like, but it's charming. The controls kind of Bosses suck. What have you else you played? What else have we played? Oh my god, I can't wait to bullshit.
So the last game we finished on our Wednesday co-op nights was Warhammer Chaosbane. Warhammer games. First of all, there's a fucking million Warhammer games. Some are like real like Warhammer 40K, and some are like this weird like fantasy version of it, because Warhammer 40K is like space shit, like space horror bad shit. But then there's also these more fantasy ones. So this one is kind of like a Diablo kind of thing, like a top down. You go into a dungeon, you fight things, you do some things, you pick up some loot. So we started, and first of all, it was weird. So like one of us had like the Xbox Series upgrade, but the other one bought this like $3 Xbox One version, and they didn't have crossplay between Xbox Series and Xbox One, which is bullshit.
Bullshit artist.
Also just 700 versions of it generally. So we started playing. You each have your own class. Like I was a dwarf, kind of like berserker, like kind of naked with double axes. Michelle was a archer. Right? You were archer.
I was an archer.
And yeah, so you play the game. We skipped all of the dialogue, so we don't know what the story was. But this was one of the most brain dead games. Like, it's very much like Diablo. Like, you press a button for an attack, and you press another button for another attack. But they were all like, you could definitely go through the game just pressing one button. Absolutely. Occasionally at the beginning, a health potion. But you could definitely just play with one button. And I tried to do more. Like, I tried to, like, switch it up. I'll be like, I'm going to do this range attack. Now I'm going to do this melee attack, just to give myself more than one button to press. But it was just very, like, very boring.
So like, fucking boring. Oh
solo would have been terrible.
Absolutely not. It was barely tolerable co-op.
With 4 people, yeah.
It was such a struggle to finish. I'm so fucking surprised we finished this game, because I was ready to bounce like 3 or 4 sessions ago.
I know. It didn't take, I think it only took us maybe 4 sessions total. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we've been just sort of bouncing off things for a while. So it was like, all right, we'll finish this one. But
we can do it.
It was just very...
It's so mundane, so boring, so bland. You
go, it's
button.
like, go into this dungeon and kill these guys, and then you go back to town. And it's like, go back in the dungeon and gather these 4 things, and then go back to town. And just,
back to town. Talk to the same guy over and over again.
Yeah.
Really boring. And what was really killer is, like, at first, you start the game and you're like, oh, you have to use your health potions a couple times. It's fine. Like, there's some a little bit... There's not much gameplay where you can avoid, because there's just a billion monsters coming at you. So how you avoid, I don't fucking know. But then once we figured out there was another skill tree, it was all over. It made the game into stupid mode.
It was so easy.
It was so fucking easy. And just...
Yeah. The one thing I liked about it was that the main skill tree, so like as you're leveling, you're building this like pool of skill points. And then you can... allot them. So you'll have you probably have like 8 or 10 skills, even though you've only got buttons for like 6 of them. But then you can like level up each one to different things. So you kind of like have to do a little like balancing of act of like, okay, well I want this one in the highest level, but that means I can only have this one at the lowest level. But it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Everything dies. You don't die. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. Yeah. And then what's really bad is the UI. I have a really hard time thinking, is that skill this one? Because it's just a picture, and the picture is like muddy and it's green, and this also other skill is muddy and green. I'm like, is it that one I've selected? And if you look at the skills, you see you're selected, but it's a very like faint white halo around it. I'm like, this bullshit needs to be highlighted red in my fucking face.
Yeah.
Because I cannot tell what I have fucking equipped.
Text was too small. And there was also just like a bunch of shit that you didn't know what to do with. Like when you had gear that you didn't need, you could like donate it. And that would do something. You were all this time you were gathering these like red and yellow and green crystals. Never figured out what those were for.
Nope.
You're gathering all this gold. The only thing we ever used it is if someone died and couldn't be resurrected, you could resurrect yourself. And that's the only thing we ever used gold for. So like there was all these like systems, but like we finished the game and didn't know what they were for.
Nothing. Yeah. And buying yourself to resurrect yourself, like we had 50,000 gold. You want to res yourself for 12,000? Duh.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it's not even, it's consequential if I die. Like who fucking cares? Like, oh my God. Terrible, terrible game. Do not recommend.
It was silly.
It was stupid.
It was a bad game.
I'm ready for
Luckily,
Pam's
it was
rant.
only $4.
Thankfully, it was only
Okay.
$4, but I want to hear Pam's rant. Oh, I love rant.
Okay, so it was on Wednesday, so we finished this shitty game, and then we were looking forward to this other game called Played Up, which has issues apparently with people in different zones not being able to connect. So like, the three of you could all just be like, "Yeah, I'm online. This is fine." And I'm like, "Nope. Error. Nope. Disconnected. Nope. Error." Like I couldn't join. So I was like, okay, well, you guys just play. I clearly can't get on. We like checked Reddit. It was a known issue. So I got in bed and I was like, okay, I just want like a nice little like relaxing game to make me feel better. So this game came on Xbox Game Pass recently. It's called A Little to the Left. And it's like an organization cozy game. And right away, I knew that's not my thing. Like, cozy games are not my thing. But I thought, okay, maybe I can just play this, put on an ASMR video in the background, and, like, do this thing. And I just had this, like, kind of, like, irrational, visceral, negative reaction to it. It's got, like, nice visuals and nice music. But you start, and the first thing, it's, like, a picture of a cat, and it's, like, slightly askew. And you just need to like straighten the picture of a cat, which first of all with a controller kind of sucks. Like maybe if you could like touchpad it or like mouse, it would be okay. But then, okay, so I like straightened it. And then the next thing came up and it was like a basket and then there was cat toys just all around. So you have to like take the cat toys and put them in the basket. And I immediately just got so mad because I was like, I have paintings in my house. I could straighten my own fucking paintings. I have dog toys all over the fucking place. If I wanted to pick up fucking animal toys, I could pick them up in my own apartment. Why am I doing this with a controller on a video game? And then I like left, and there's this thing called like the Daily Tidy. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. I will tidy my own stuff. Like,
Oh my God.
I just got so mad.
I was getting angry. I'm gonna just go clean my own fucking house. Fuck you, game.
I mean, I knew. I've always been like that. Like all those kind of like Stardew Valleys. I was like, I can water my own plants. Like I don't need to do this. I can go out and make money like for myself in real life. So I've kind of always had this feeling. But that game, like Wednesday just wasn't a very good day, and I got here and it's like, straighten your own fucking picture of your cat. Like, fuck you.
Fuck this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just a game about like tidying things and sorting things. And like, I was like, I can do that for real if I need to.
I'm not a fan of those kind of games either. I did play Stardew, but like unpacking, like when it comes to like actually doing something that feels
I also hated unpacking.
I did not finish unpacking. I was
No.
like, I am literally unpacking this box. Like,
Yeah.
am I supposed to feel emotional right now? Because I'm not.
No.
Am I a cold-hearted bitch? I think I am.
Maybe, but yeah. No. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I actually saw that this was on Game Pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought about downloading. I'm so glad I didn't.
No.
Oh, brutal.
Plus, I couldn't even figure out what the Daily Tidy was. Actually, I went to Daily Tidy before I went to the actual game, and I was just kind of like spinning things around, and they were moving, and I was like, I don't know what you want from me. It's supposed to be a game that's like, oh, this is so nice, calm and satisfying, and I'm just like, this stresses me the fuck out. I don't like this.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god. Oh god, fucking Plate Up better fix their fucking bullshit and fix that
I hope so.
region configuration shit on the Xbox Game Pass. Because it was just released on Xbox Game Pass. It was just why we're like, oh my god, we have to play Plate Up now. And it's fun. It's fine. Like, it's very much like Overcooked, but Jesus Christ, it needs to fix it because I felt so bad. I was like, there's no Pam. You need to be Pam here. Like, help mop. Pam can mop. Maybe Pam not mop. Pam can cook the meat.
Yeah, hopefully it's fixed. I heard that like a PlayStation fix went out, so I assume that an Xbox fix can't be very far behind. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hopefully. I mean, fingers crossed. Otherwise, we're going to have to find a supplement because I refuse to continue on with this fucking journey.
Well, we got that Heroes of Hammerwatch.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we didn't try that one, so.
Yes, that can be our backup plan. Good call. Good call. Good call. So don't play A Little to the Left unless you like to fucking put away scoop kitty poop. Could you imagine if a game ever told me to like scoop kitty litter? I'd be like, fuck you.
No, thank you. Yeah.
I bet you it would. Pam, do you have any pickups? Do you have any vinyl pickups? Because I swear to God, I have a fucking problem.
No pickups. I've got a couple thing ordered. They're just nowhere to be seen. So yeah, tell me your problems.
I got a lot of problems, Pam. It's really bad. So, first thing I bought, went to a vinyl store with my dad, and I saw Timeline Ocarina of Time Demaster, trying to get a glare, Divergence or whatever. This is Ocarina. This is a poster. Ocarina of Time music, but it's done in like, what is it? 8-bit? What is NES? 8-bit?
Oh, okay.
8-bit.
Yeah.
So it's like do 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 do. You know, like it's really cute. It's really tight in the fucking comfort. I'm not even gonna take it out. I don't fucking care. Yeah, so it's a bright yellow. So I never heard of this before, and I thought this was really cute. And I'm always looking for something unique. I'm really into the lo-fi or lo-fi, however you pronounce it, kind of deal right now. So I like these kind of releases that are like different variations of the OSTs. So I got that. That was fun.
Nice.
Next thing I got, we're just gonna skip the best one for last. I had recently placed, and not the best one, I'm the one I'm gonna rant about the most. I recently played Alan Wake, that we talked about on our last episode, and I went looking for a vinyl immediately afterwards because I was like, these guys are amazing. Like the music in between the chapters is really great. But so this is Old Gods of Asgard, Rebirth, Greatest Hits. Nice. So this actually includes music from Alan Wake 2, as well as Control. So the band that you play, the what is it in like chapter 5 or 4, where you like on the stage and the band
we're on the stage. Yeah.
So that's
the two old guys you're always seeing.
Yeah, the two old guys. So that music from the two old guys. I mean, they're not old guys in actuality. They're like, or maybe they are. They look like European dudes. I don't fucking know. They might be old.
They're in the game. In the game, they're the old guy. They're much older in the game, but I think so. It's an actual band called Poets of the Fall, but then they are like old guards of Asgard in the Alan Wake universe.
Yeah, so it has a bunch of like songs of them, and this vinyl is just black, so it's not fun. So, but the music is fun, very kind of mid 2000s hard rock. Yeah, it's a great time. So had to get that. Next one, what do I gotta go with? You actually have this one. Also recently played Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I have a Castlevania vinyl already, but it's not the OST. And so then I saw that they had repressed this beautiful thing.
Nice.
Yes,
it's beautiful. I love the art on this.
It's so fucking good. You have Alucard, you have Maria, and you have this douchebag. I don't fucking remember his name. Whatever. But I think this one is,
Richter.
this one's also. Oh, Richter. This is a little bit like a darker green, so it's kind of fun. Yeah, this one's, I didn't put this. Sometimes I
remember. I think mine's some kind of splatter. I don't remember.
This one's not coming out unless I really try. I hate that with vinyl shit. Like, why can't I? Oh,
I know so many of them. They just like get stuck in there.
Yeah, it's gray and green,
Nice.
which is nice.
Actually, mine might also be kind of just like a smoky color, possibly. I don't know. It could be anything. I'm not checking.
No, don't check. But every time I go to your place and you have that like displayed up, I'm like, God, I want that. Every time I'm like, ooh, Michelle needs that. And thankfully, I've just been waiting for the re-release of it. So I'm like, please, mama. So yeah. The next one I got, I'll just take it out now. I'm actually playing this game on stream right now. Again, I swear to God, any game I play on stream, I'm like, I gotta get the vinyl because I'm an idiot. I'm playing Kladoka, which Kladoka, apparently this is bootlegged. Whoops. Bootlegged-ish.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a bootleg.
This is definitely a bootleg. But so Kladoka, the maker of Kladoka was the composer for Secret of Mana. So the music and voice acting in this game are fucking amazing. PS1, you would never think the voice acting.
No.
This game was PS1 era voice acting. It's incredible. Absolutely. They just need fucking subtitles and it'd be off the fucking chart. But this vinyl, again, bootleg, it's just a happy little yellow. I think it is, just like goldish-ish with Kladoka's face on it. The game itself is a struggle bus because PS1 has super, super struggle bus load times. So anytime you do a thing, it takes like 10 minutes. You're sitting there like,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
here we go. So but it is interesting gameplay, and I'll probably talk about it whenever I finish it. But the music's incredible. So I had to have it, apparently, because I'm a monster. And then I'm almost done, I swear to God. The last thing I got, I pre-ordered this because my sister would have killed me if we didn't get it, is I got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm not even going to open it out of the fucking package because I'm so angry.
No?
I mean, I did. I'm not going to even open it the plastic. It's just black. You know when vinyl, like, they don't record all the way to the end, like they just do?
Yeah.
Square Enix, I feel like, are really bad proponents of this. They'll only do like 2 or 3 songs when you know you could have fit a fourth. You know you could. All the fucking time. So you look at the ribbing or the grooves of the vinyl on both sides. I'm like, you bitches. There's a lot of fucking song in this game. You could have added another one, you assholes. So there's definitely more to be desired out of this vinyl because it's only 1 disc. The packaging itself is just this glossy cover. This has plastic over it, so it's even more glossy.
Yeah.
But it's just meh. And the music, I mean, I forgot to mention that in the Advent Children, it's all Uematsu. And the songs were fucking bangers. Like the songs are what really saved the movie because Uematsu is just fucking amazing. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. And these songs I know are not completely Uematsu. I mean, it could be wrong, I think. But they're fine. If you don't even have the stupid song where the woman sings like in the fucking Game Awards or whatever, that song's not even on here.
Oh, no.
No. It's like, it's just the song selection's not great. It's not even, you could have fit another song. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
That's
fine.
too bad.
Squeenix, you suck. Why do I get suckered into you every single fucking time and you disappoint me every time? So I have a problem because that was like 7 vinyl, I swear to God. And there's still more on pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
doesn't even include vinyls that I purchased, like regular vinyl.
That aren't video games, yeah.
Problem. I need a bigger just like setup, Pam. I'm on the hunt right now for a bigger. I've already had to buy like a cheap Amazon cube in order to display the extra vinyl because I need a bigger display thing. I want upgrades. I need upgrades.
Yeah.
Who created
Yeah, I
this
do kind of
monster?
want a proper like setup for my vinyl, like because mine's just kind of like on a coffee end table, and then my vinyl are in a bookshelf, like so.
Yeah, I want like a longer, bigger thing to hold the vinyl, and then so it'll have a longer tabletop, so I can have my actual turntable and my amplifier thing, and maybe a thing to hold another thing on it, like.
Yeah, another display thing.
Yeah, and then new speakers, because the speakers I have are fine, but I bought them off auction. They're floor speakers, and I want funky, fun, new, like, floor speakers, like... Issues, Pam. We have issues. It's fine.
Of our own making.
Yep. Pretty much. But that's an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an episode. We did it. Thank you for everyone for listening. If you would like to speak with us, leave us a comment. Please go to the YouTube video because that's the only place me and Pam will actually look at things. So yeah, comment on that. Check out in the future for my social to see, what is it? The Skippables Podcast. Think about how to talk about the police. And yeah, we also have a subreddit. /r polymedia, even though I'm really bad at posting at that.
And if you like what you heard here and you want to hear some more fun podcasts, you can check out polymedianetwork.com.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. All sorts of fun podcasts. So yes, we have to hold and pose, even though your drink is empty. We're going to hold and pose and say, drink well, my friends.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for listening, and we'll see you next time.